Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So delighted to be joined by Trottie.
Good to see you boys, as always.
Yep. Love being down here with you. This is quite the launch.
Yep, it's good times for sure. Good time to be with Taylormade.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in Sim 2 a movement forward, but maybe not a big shift from Sim. You know, we were still talking inertia generator, but we had kind of saved weight from the front of the track on Sim 2. We'd moved into the back and trying to stabilise the driver a little bit. This is a big shift.
For sure, and I think, look, no doubt you're going to cover the tech of it from engineers and whatnot, but from a fitting point, when you look at it as a player, you know, the first place you look at it is the player's view.
Yeah.
And you can see 60 layers of carbon. Carbon's going to be well talked about, but the colour, I mean, I can see that. And then the next thing I'm doing is you touch it, don't you?
You do, yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Exactly
you're
what we
like,
do.
hang on a minute, and we were just offlining. There's something there, and I think that it's important people understand that nano texture controls spin. I know we're going to get to it, but I was at the photo shoot last week, and you're seeing these ball flights, and you're seeing these numbers, and if there's a bit of moisture on the golf ball from early morning, or if there's a ball flight you're hitting, the nano texture in there is giving the off-center hits, which even the Morikawas of this world have, controlled ball flight, controlled window. Feel the weight of the Sim 2 face, you can feel the 60 layers of carbon, 40% lighter, then the mass has moved around the head, energy transfer, designed to give you more of that, more speed. Again, from what you put in as a player, you're going to get it out. And then the other piece from a fitting point of view, because that's obviously where I live and I know where you boys live, to see the movable weight track back in there.
Love to see that.
I do too, to be honest.
So we dive back in time, you know, Taylormade, what they've done in terms of advancing technology, inverted cone, moving into the unmetal wood, moving into the carbon wood. Really the first to, you know, bring these things to it. I mean, this is quite something. You know, like you say, the texture on the face. If you look in the, we're catching the sun here, between the grooves, we have what looks like a wedge with micro grooves.
Yeah.
And you talk, you know, spin control and control and spin loft and exit points of the golf ball to kind of manage launch and spin so much tighter. I mean, it's something that really hasn't been done elsewhere.
Yeah. I think, look, we were talking about it. I've been with Taylormade 15 years. R7 quad was amazing. You could get in there, you could adjust weights. This became a tour truck in your pocket. This is where it's come to on this journey. You pass some of the greats, rocket balls with speed slots in there. You're passing the greats. This has got a lot of the greats in it with this carbon wood. A lot of design is about saving weight. The engineers who are, again, kicking around here, they're saving weight all the time. And it's not something to be overlooked, because you end up with a product like this, then you put the weight in the places that's needed, then you add in this new tech, which I initially, and we're still early, I mean, it's early in the season when this is coming out, but you can feel it, see it, and I think any time as a consumer you can feel it, touch it, see it, you want to hit it.
Yeah, we were both very curious, because it almost has that look of sort of a coating, and Chandler was just saying to us about how Sergio thought, is there a sticker on there? Like, what is that? It's really quite cool. So obviously that lives above the carbon layer.
That's the final layer of the 60, is that nano texture, and that's what they're calling it, and that it took them 20 years to get it right. So apparently this thing was ready a while back, but they didn't have this final piece right, because when it went on, it controls the spin, and obviously that, as you guys know, launch and spin and how you control it, the golf ball, is critical. Critical. I mean, that's why these monitors are doing what they're doing. That's why we're out here getting it right, because all those descent angles and everything you're trying to work on, it's only good if you can control them.
That's right. Those little incremental gains wherever we can extract them. So you were down in Florida at the Floridian with the tour boys. What was their initial impressions? What did they say when they saw it?
Well, this one was a little different. We showed it them as early as we could. And they had some couple of shots at the Kingdom at Taylormade, but then we went on to, the Floridian. They get the clubs again, because they're all so early, that then they get the clubs at the shoot and they start hitting them again. It's like kids in a candy store, as it would be, start banging them. And Colin is always a great gauge. He's a tough one to get right. And you're watching him hit balls, and just the little peel cuts he hits, and just measured. And then obviously switches between Stealth Plus, give me the Stealth, let me hit that. Needs a slightly different setting, slightly different positioning of loft sleeve, boom, off it goes, window. And he's just like, this is like, I'm not hitting this perfect. at times, but my spin is where I want it, and that's what they're looking for. Because every fairway that they miss or every yardage that they're not at, we all know from strokes gained, is half a club more, which then gives you a bit more distance from the hole, and that's the difference on Sunday.
Definitely.
Love it. Okay. We hit a couple earlier on. Let's hit a couple with Trottie here.
Sure.
Start to talk about some of the kind of those little adjustments we can make in launch and spin.
Sounds great.
Let's normalise the driver again, and let's do that with Trottie.
Sounds good. Okay. I love it. That's better.
Okay, I'm with you.
Still hanging a
My
little
eyes
bit.
aren't failing me. Looks a little stally, doesn't it?
A little bit.
What ball is that?
I've got X's down.
Okay, good.
Very different flight.
Right. Initially much higher, but now flat at the top.
Flat as well.
And I think a little tip for anyone out there who's fitting. Obviously, we've got the TrackMan back there. I'm on the side ball flight. Land angle's down, is that 39, 169, 2000. You hit it high out the blade, launched at 14. Personally, I might not touch that. But the other thing I was going to touch on, like I took a checkpoint, a visual on the cloud. Like the second cloud, first shot was in the middle of that. That tee shot was above the second cloud.
Right.
Just because he's in my way, I'm not sure. I'm a little nervous if I can see the TrackMan. You know what I mean? So you always pick something just as a little call out. But if that has happened and then you've teed it up, you've offset the CG, you've delivered it how you delivered it, I'm almost walking away here.
Yeah, it's
you know
interesting how much of a difference that made, isn't it?
Yeah, it gave you it allowed you to hit up on it much more. So you've turned that 1.4 into 3 something, up
and change the spin loft of it.
Exactly. So again, if we know that you're capable of that, then that opens that head up, potentially, because at 122 feet peak height, it might be 10, 12 feet higher than we want to see it. I mean, if that is a good one with no spin.
Look at that, went after it, lost it a little to the left, which could be you adjusting to the weight.
Yeah, I don't mind that though.
No, I don't either, which is why I'm diving straight in to peg another one and be like, I'm cool with that. 171, so 172, spin rate's
like
great,
that,
mate.
yeah.
12 and 2 is, okay. That was nice. I love the look of that.
Bit flatter ball flight, right, against
strong,
that cloud.
isn't it? And that's got a lot in the second half of the flight.
Now the thing is, boys, we're down breeze. So the 1988, so 2000, looks knuckly.
True.
But remember, we're down, it's picking up as well, it's offshore.
Good point.
If I turned you and hit the other way, that would be a beauty.
Yeah. Love it,
that felt really good.
I'm amazed that you would want to peg that down, because you've not missed the shot here.
It's funny, it's just what you get used to, I guess, at a certain point. My home course is a little bit narrow, so I probably worry too much about it, but I think these are some of the straighter balls I've hit in a while.
And again, I think that's understandable, right? If you tee the ball down, then the CG relationship changes and you get more of a squeeze, therefore you get, for you, more of the right to left ball flight, which is more spin, lands softer, is safer.
Right.
So I think that's something, again, people can take away from this. Get the club, get fit, but if you address your tee height for the shot pattern you want, it's going to change your attack angle, which in turn, I mean, that's 10.1, 2500, bit squeezy.
You're absolutely right. That could come up a little bit for the longer flight driver.
And there's a video within a video here, really, isn't there? Because we're talking about the tech and how we're extracting more performance out these new heads and all the technology in there. But you're really taking this to the next layer by personalising it to you with tee height.
That's a good point.
Because you were defaulting to that lower angle of attack, and we're kind of trying to push you back up again.
You're absolutely right.
Do you know what I would do and what happens at these photo shoots, which you alluded to? The players act like kids. I mean, honestly, the reason I'm in these things is to herd the cats. It's crazy.
Babysitting.
Yes, and to make sure that we're emceeing and we're getting the right energy, because if left alone, which would be cool, but it would be chaotic, but they at this point would absolutely have taken that T-peg with the green bit on the bottom and they'd have it just in the ground. And that's what I'd push you to say. I'd be like, be a kid again. If we were 3 juniors, you'd be smacking this.
How far can I hit this thing?
Come on, let's see it and let's get under the back of it.
I'll tell you what, like, this is about as comfortable as I've ever been with like a Taylormade driver.
Where's the really tall tee gone? That's what we need.
I broke it.
Okay, well that's good. That's a good start.
I broke it with my descending angle.
Let's get the McElroy in there.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. McElroy's a good one. Load up the energy and let's really see you send one.
So let's get one up to the second cloud there.
Because then you know what's capable.
Yeah, good point. All right.
Look at that. Height, draw.
It's a good looking flight, isn't it?
Out, yeah.
I mean, boys, we're still looking at that. That's huge.
Yeah,
that's a good tee shot.
5.8 on the angle attack, Matty.
Quickest speed.
3.33.
That's quite amazing.
3.08 in the fly. First ball he hit today, Trottie, was 2.84 on the fly.
Before we started kind of dialing stuff.
Yeah. Is that normalised?
That's normalised.
So that's impressive, because that's not even factoring in the fact that we're down breeze. So 38 land angle, 1800, 14.2. So when you get more launch like that, you can get away with less spin. Your viewers are going to know that. But that's what I would push for.
Yeah.
Then if you're swinging it well right now, if you start swinging it squirrely, tee it down a bit.
Yeah, and play the safer shot.
If you start worrying, you've now got the movable weight technology, you move around. So if it was a toss-up between which one you were going to go with, I would sort of say, I've got you on a great day, you're hitting it great, go there. And do you know what else I would do if this was a fitting environment? I'd be like, I personally don't need to see anymore. It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
And then being me and being what I do, I'd start to look at other ways I could help you. Where's your rescue 5-wood combo?
Yeah.
Do you play a 2-iron? Do you play UDI? What are you doing with your lob wedges? Is there anything else I can help you with? How much do you understand about the golf ball?
Of course, yeah.
That's the route I would go down, because this is honestly,
this is quite fantastic.
This is a shoe-in.
One thing I was going to ask you, I think with the weight savings, people might be watching this and go 25 grams. And if you're not in the engineering world, which I'm not either, I think people tend to go, is that really enough to make a big difference? I will say I've never felt a TaylorMade driver move around less.
Yeah.
Like, not all of those were dead center, and they really felt quite stable.
How consistent was the spin as well?
And
that's,
the spin,
I think, this what's going on with
and that's a big thing. We talked about it with some other clubs. Like, I know Ping is big on that as well, and we've seen it from them. To be honest, I don't remember seeing that much spin consistency with the TaylorMade in the ones we've tested. That's
what shot out for me at the shoot.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say it. Like I said, I think we've got you hitting it. And no doubt you're a good player. We've got you hitting it on a good day.
Yeah.
And I think that the Morikawa, he's a tough judge, and everything was, and I'm like, and he's talking the exact same thing. So, I mean, that guy's won 2 majors already. I mean,
he knows what he's talking
what's
about.
happening here? I want to see you get going. I mean, let's get winning some majors. But that's, I think, a good call out. And I think they've done a great job. And again, the 25 grams saving that you're talking about, you and I know from days gone by, TaylorMade engineers, 8 grams was what they initially started to move in that quad. And that was enough to see about a mil change. And you could feel it as a player. Now, how we then put that across to the viewer and the consumer to understand it, because it's quite intimidating. It was definitely intimidating back then, 15 years ago, but it's still intimidating. You didn't have what you have now, which is guys like you guiding people through the journey. You know what I mean? And I think, thankfully for that, it's the whole industry's come on. It's not just these things. Obviously, the people delivering it have as well, which is good.
This is great stuff.
Good, eh?
Pretty impressed with it. We always joke, like, TaylorMade drivers generally for me, because I used to be very low spin. You'd be like, you want to hit a TaylorMade driver today? I'd be like, I'm not too sure. Like, it's a little volatile.
Out.
It's like quite confidence inspiring, this thing. It's quick. Like, those ball speeds are really no joke.
The less loft you can play, the more speed you are going to see.
Of course, yeah.
So as you're delivering shallow, like, that's a 9, right?
This is a 9, yeah.
So how good's that? We've got a 9 in 9. The actual, if I was betting on it, is probably 9.5. If we had the Dela Cruz out and we measured it.
Yeah.
But how good are those numbers? I mean,
it's about as good as I've had in forever, right?
Right now, today, I couldn't squeeze you in any less, but through the course of a tour season, if we got going out into the heat in Florida and your body was feeling great and you were really launching it, maybe you would. But then other things that come in, how's it going to run out on the Bermuda? Your land angle's money, 38 degrees. So really, the only place I would look to maybe change, you go to the Open Championship, and I might say to you, okay, this is going to run, let's get you down to 36, but I'd probably do it off the loft sleeve.
Of course,
So I think you'd be in a good place for this. I'd probably be going the truck now and getting you a backup already.
Yeah.
I'm a little bummed that we're not going to be allowed to use this later for golf.
I think you might be.
Think we'll be able to convince somebody?
Maybe keep a different head cover on it, you might be.
I think if I'm playing, I don't want you using it.
Unless you're on his team.
You can be on my team.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Awesome.
Good stuff, boys. Thank
you, guys.
No, this is great, guys. I mean, hopefully you can start to see how we're talking about this now in the fitting environment. We're talking about how the technology layered on top of what we've learned about in the past and everything we're seeing here. It's just tightening up, isn't it? It's tightening up the really windows of launch spin, increasing the speed. It will be great. I'm actually excited to get it back in our quad, start to move the face, measure strike
see where we're striking it.
And can I actually quantify some of those strikes and see how look at that one snuck into the low heel, look at the ball retention on that one. I can't wait to do a little bit of fun with that one.
That's going to be awesome.
I think it's a good call out. I think when you get clubs in an environment like this, if you see numbers like that, what a great start. That's the first time I've seen you at a golf ball. What a great start.
Yeah.
from here back into your own system, your comfort zone, I think it's only going one way myself. You'll see that again for sure.
And we'll be doing that when we get back. We'll do some fitting
great
with
stuff. I mean, I'm excited to see it. Good effort.
Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, more coming from here at La Costa. We'll see you again soon.